Time for another viewer suggested challenge. So this is coming from Andrea Leone 95, and the challenge is to do the General's Challenge with infantry or air units. So this is the second video, I think, where I've done the infantry or air units mini-series. Now for this one we went with Nuke General, not Air Force General, because I got too many videos in the pipeline as Air Force coming up, so I wanted to play with Nuke General instead. So what that means is we're allowed dozers, supply trucks, helixes, MiGs. Those are the only units that we're going to be building. General powers are going to be allowed, and as for super weapons, they are allowed, but I am going to try my best not to build or use them. So I might need them for Ling, but we'll see how we go. Now with our dozers, I got one building up our GATs for the defense, because Granger is going to attack around the 4 minutes 30 minute mark. So you got to have enough GATs to fend off the Ranger Paradrop, as well as all of those Comanches and Raptors. As for the other one, we ended up building a barracks in the bottom corner. Now the reason for the barracks is because Granger likes to go for like production buildings. So if you have a production building that's tucked all the way into the corner like that, it means that the planes will take longer to actually get to that barracks, meaning that your Gatling cannons will have a much better chance of shooting the planes down before they can hit their mark. Now I have done challenges against Granger or other generals where I haven't been building any units or no offensive units, so those are like harder versions of a challenge like this. This is basically a challenge where I have less restriction and I can actually build some units, so you get a chance to see me with less restraints, we'll say. So with this one, I was thinking like helixes would definitely be the way here. MiGs, I don't really like using the MiGs all that much, especially like the nuke MiGs, because nuke MiGs you got to actually build the nuclear missiles to really make the best use out of them. But helixes on the other hand, if you can get them around Granger's base in just the right way and avoid any attention from his planes or his Patriots, then you could actually do quite a bit of damage. Now I ended up holding off on that 100% GAT just so I can get my power back up, and there we go, finished it off, but the power came back on, so very momentary loss of power there. So right now we're going into our 7th Gatling cannon, and as you can see I'm out of cash, so I can't build anything else with my other dozer. So you're probably thinking, why not go for a 3rd supply truck to gather the resources faster? Now the reason why I'm not doing that is because of my 2 supply trucks that are gathering the resources. So if I was to build the 3rd one, it might disrupt the movement of my other 2. So see how the 2 trucks I've got aren't really moving all that much to gather those resources and then drop them off at the supply center. So right now I wouldn't say my supply center placement is perfect, but it's definitely more on the optimal side, so I'm going to be able to gather those resources faster compared to doing it with 3 supply trucks, if you position your supply center in the way that I've got. Now you want to have like at least a bunker's worth of space, just so your supply trucks can move in the way they are, and if you can perfect it, it means that those trucks probably won't even move at all, and it's just a tiny bit faster. Now here comes the attack from General Granger. So first off, it's going to be that Ranger Paradrop and some Comanches, and we got a lot of Gatling cannons this time. If you've seen the can't build any units challenges, you'll remember that I only really am able to get 4 Gatling cannons out because I only have the 1 dozer. So having this many GATs for Granger's big attack here, it's very helpful. And even if we do lose a couple of GATs, I'm still going to have plenty to go around and pick off whatever other planes he's got coming my way. So Granger's attacks right now, we just got to hold out until about the 9 to 10 minute mark. That's when those attacks will start to die down, and then we can push our way over to the right where there's more supplies to gather, or we can push our way into the village. That'll cut him off from his supplies if you set up a couple of GATs there to take out his Chinooks. So yeah, a lot of interesting things that we could do, but right now I'm just focused on building lots of GATs. See, I feel like I might have gone a little bit overkill on the GATs. Like I said before, I only had about 4 at the beginning of his attack doing can't build any units, and now I've got more than double that. And with those attacks, that he's doing, he is aiming them at the Gatling cannons themselves and not scaffold bait like I would normally do in Can't Build Any Units challenges. Now, I felt confident enough to actually build a war factory here, and that was just as I lost a few of my Gats, you know, off the left and in the middle too. But I still got another 6, so we're still pretty good on defense right now. As long as Granger's attacks don't involve, you know, a lot of Aurora bombers or anything like that. Now, I went for War Factory to get the chain gun upgrade, of course, that way I can pick off his planes faster. Now, his planes, it seems like they're going to go for my command center more, just because that one seems to be a little bit more at the front line compared to the other Gats that I've got. Now, using the general powers, going for level 2 artillery barrage on the supply center, as well as a carpet bomb on one of his supply drop zones. So, reason why we're doing that is because Granger, unlike other generals, has a limit to how much cash he's got. So, if you can take away his ability to make money, then he'll actually stop building planes and stop building buildings. So you could basically take out his entire base, you could keep his dozers alive, and he won't be able to rebuild because he's got no cash. So that's a very distinct weakness for Granger compared to other generals. So right now, even though our general powers work, Granger's still going to be dangerous for at least a couple more minutes here, so I need to still focus on building up my Gats to replace the ones that I've lost. So I'm down to 3 Gats left, and I've lost a dozer. So that's even more bad news because, again, we're still using just the 2 supply trucks to gather the resources. Now, I did speed up this section just because I do actually get a break from Granger's attacks here. So it seems like maybe he ran out of planes earlier than expected. Like I said before, it's usually like 9 or 10 minutes in. That's usually when it dies down, but I'm glad it died down early so then I can use my dozer to rebuild my defense for the next wave of attacks. And this is where I'm getting into the scaffold bait that I use in my Can't Build Any Units challenges. So it's a bunker as scaffold bait, so it'll only cost me $400 if Granger destroys that bunker scaffold. Now, using up that carpet bomb on the other supply drop zone, he didn't rebuild the other supply drop zone or the supply center, so once we take out that drop zone, odds are he won't be able to rebuild any of those buildings or any other buildings that we destroy in the future. And that will also mean that his units are less likely to get built or rebuilt if we destroy any of his units too. So for anyone wondering, I intentionally didn't want to destroy Granger's barracks because if you destroy the barracks or the strategy center, it means that Granger will call in for reinforcements with aircraft carrier Olympia, so he'll get more Rangers to work with to attack you. But honestly, I feel like I probably could have allowed Granger to have those reinforcements because I've got all of the Gats to defend my base anyway, and I probably could have gotten that extra EXP to get to rank 5 faster, and then I could use the EMP pulse on his other planes faster as well. So I think that was a small mistake, but not a fatal one. Now, I got the airfield up, so now I can build up our helixes, going for a level 3 artillery barrage on 2 airfields. So if you target just like that, you will take out both of those airfields, and because we took out the supply center and the supply drop zones, his dozers won't actually be able to rebuild those because he has no cash left to play with. So if we just take out all of his airfields, and also another thing, if you take out the airfields and then take out the barracks or the strategy center, then he won't be able to use the reinforcements from aircraft carrier Olympia, just so you know. Now we do have helixes to work with, and we can go for speaker tower, we can go for the Gatling cannon upgrade if we want to. Right now we're just using this helix more as a spy to just see what buildings Granger has garrisoned with his rangers and missile defenders too. So I got a little bit too close to his units there, so we will need to heal him back up before we can make any big moves, but this is good information. So I was thinking about where to go with my next carpet bomb, so it took me a while, but I ended up going with the 3 power plants. I knew that was a safe bet because he hadn't garrisoned a lot of buildings in the village, so there wasn't going to be a lot of anti-air to destroy the plane. So I was able to take out the power plants, but I didn't take him offline. See, I want to take him offline so then I can move in with my helixes later on and then destroy his buildings. But I also got to keep in mind he still has his planes as well that could destroy my helixes. Those King Raptors can be a pain. So right now we're just building up our helixes. I ended up getting the supply center off to the right to get more supplies, and I'm moving into the village now. I got 2 helixes with Gats and another with a speaker tower. I thought I'd give it a go and go for his garrison, and yeah, that was not exactly the best choice because the Patriot ended up getting in on the mix here, and I almost lost the helix right away. So I had to retreat and just let these guys heal up, and then we can move in again later. I probably could have just sent them back to the airfield. That probably would have healed them up a little bit faster by comparison, but in any case, we do heal up. So while I wait on my helixes to heal up, I have another one in my airfield ready to join up with them. Getting the Gatling cannon upgrade with that helix too, because I want the extra damage. I only need 1 helix with the speaker tower upgrade for the healing. That's going to be enough for me. Now with our general powers, going for barrage on the airfield, and I'm also going with carpet bomb on the power plants too. So my goal here is to take him offline, and then that way I can be more likely to sneak my helixes into his base and take out the rest of his buildings. So we were able to accomplish that, and we were able to get to rank 5 getting the EMP pulse. So we use our EMP pulse. I'm going more so for the Comanches and Raptors that are hovering near the command center. So I probably could have changed the aim a little bit, maybe gone a little bit more towards the resources. That way I could cover those Raptors too. But in any case, I am going to take out the majority of these planes here. And in any case, we're going to be able to get our helixes into Granger's base. Now, Granger still has some anti-air units. He still has missile defenders and some King Raptors too. Now, with our helixes, I'm just getting them into position to make our next move. And I wanted to look at my general powers. So I still had 2 points left to use. And honestly, I chose not to get anything. I felt confident enough to beat Granger from this point. But honestly, I think I probably could have gone with either the repair ability or the frenzy. Either one of those would have still been a help to me in case either A, my helixes took a hit from a King Raptor, or B, I wanted to speed things up and increase the attack power of the helixes as they're destroying Granger's buildings and units. So either one of those things would have been fine, but yeah, like I said, I chose not to use either one of those 2 points. So here we go. I'm hugging the right side so then I don't trigger those King Raptors because they're circling around like the resource pile area. So I figure if I just hug the right and then move north, I can then destroy his buildings without getting the attention of those Raptors and then losing the helixes. So we could do a lot of damage here, and we might be able to like use our general powers as well. It really depends on how long it takes for the helixes to do their work. So now at this point, we're just going to do some cleanup with these helixes. Going to go left and destroy these buildings that are further out in his base. That way we don't trigger those Raptors. And once we destroy that final airfield, if we do destroy the barracks or the strategy center, the aircraft carrier Olympia Raptors will not help him. So I'm going to go for these power plants. Again, just trying to take out as many buildings as possible without triggering those Raptors. Now I did notice I do have a carpet bomb, and I'm going to go for his command center. Now, I think I could have waited on the carpet bomb plane to get to his base. That way the Raptors go for that instead of my helixes, because I ended up losing a helix because I got a little bit too close there. But in any case, this is how we beat General Granger using air units. This was Andrea Leone's challenge. So if you enjoyed this one, leave a like, comment, subscribe. I do have a playlist if you want to check out any other content. I'm Cracklo. I'll see you in the next one. Bye.
I guess it's time for me to go find a good airline job.